Hello friends, in this video I am going to explain about the data access patterns in PEGA. In this video I will explain about um, snapshot pattern and system of record pattern. Okay, so most of the people may not be aware of this terminology, but the implementation is already done. But the implementation you might have already completed, but you may or may not be aware of this is called it as a system of record, or this is called it as a snapshot pattern in PEGA. And even in some interviews also nowadays they're asking what is SOR, system of record, and what is meant by the snapshot pattern. How do you refer the data? How do you refer the data? Okay, they will ask some questions on it. Okay, but before okay, now let's take one example quickly. And I have a one property. For example, this is the country details. So just let me know, did you came across any time about these two options? Because if you open any property in PEGA, by default see the data access. That's why I call it as a data access patterns. That's why in the beginning I mentioned data access patterns. So here it's a manual and refer to data page and copy a data from a data page. So how you are going to access the data, so how many ways you can access the data, how efficiently you can access the data. So these design patterns will represent that. These design patterns will represent that. Manual means by default whenever you create any property, the default selection is manual. That means the data will be set to that property. The data will be set to that property by manual. Manual in the sense you can enter the data, or by using an activity you can set the data. But see here, there are two more options: refer to a data page and copy a data from a data page. So these two options are referring to system of record pattern and snapshot pattern in PEGA. These two options are referring to system of record pattern and snapshot pattern in PEGA. So for example, what is meant by the system of record pattern? So PEGA will not maintain the copy of the data. PEGA will not maintain the data. PEGA will always load the data at runtime whenever they need. So I'm repeating once again, PEGA will not maintain the data. PEGA will always load the data whenever they need. Okay, and what is a snapshot pattern? PEGA will always maintain the copy of the data. That means one more copy of the data, that is nothing but a snapshot pattern. Snapshot pattern. So for example, assuming I have a one external system, that external system is having the country details. I have a external system is having the country details. External system means not PEGA application. There might be some other application or some other database. Finally, external system. So the external system is having the data. So here now my requirement is I want to fetch that country details for a specific country. I want to fetch the country details for a specific country. So you can implement using the snapshot pattern, as well as you can implement using the system of record pattern. So in the system of record pattern, always you can refer to that data. Always you can refer to the data. You will not maintain the data in PEGA. Always you can fetch the data whenever you need. Whenever you need. So how can you achieve that? You can achieve that by using this refer to data page concept. But no, in the snapshot pattern, you can always fetch the data and keep it in your PEGA application. That is nothing but a snapshot data access pattern that you can achieve by using the copy a data from a data page. That you can achieve by using this option, copy a data from a data page. So now let's see. But time being I don't have any external system, I don't have any external system. But assuming this is my external system, and assuming, just assuming this is my external system, the external system is having the country details. My external system is having the country details. I have some 4 or 5 countries in my database table, which is nothing but external system. Now I want to fetch the country details. I want to fetch the country details. As I told you, I can fetch the country details using the many ways. I can fetch the country details many ways without representation of the snapshot pattern or system of record pattern. I can fetch the country details, but my class is this class is related to those two data access pattern. See, total 4 countries. What I'm going to do, if I give the country id 3, I want to fetch these details. If I give the country id 2, I want to fetch the china details, okay, etc. Now, okay, just I have a one insurance claim. uh, just click on save and run. In this implementation, I'm going to use the system of record pattern as well as a snapshot pattern. Okay, so by default, in this section or in this screen, just only capturing the details, first name, last name, and if we can enter the country id, then I need to populate the country details. I am fetching the country details assuming from the external system, etc. How you can fetch the country details? By using this system of record pattern. So loan amount 90 and first name Suresh. Now if I give a country id 2, just press a tab. That means on change event. See, now the country details are populating. Now, if I give 3, country details are populating. How it was implemented? How it was implemented? See, already there is a property. Already there is a property country details. So, this country details property holding the country details. This country details property fetching the country details using this data page. Forget about the logic how this data page was implemented, etc. This data page can pull the data from the external system, etc. But so if you pass a country id 1, then immediately this data page will be triggered and fetch the country details for this country id and keep it in this country details. So that means it's not always maintaining the data in the country details page property. It's not always maintaining the data in the country details property. Whenever you needed, it immediately refer to this data page. It refers to this data page. If you want, you can see. Now these are the details, right? But let how I was implemented. See this one. This is the section here, country. On this field, the property name is country. That means if I enter the country id, but unfortunately I give it as a country, but it may be country id because I am giving the country id. So now if I give it as a country, now what is the actions? On change, refresh this section. On change, refresh this section. In this section I did not implement an activity data transform, but only this dynamic layout will be loaded. This dynamic layout will be loaded here. When by default it would be empty, by default it will be not visible, but only country equal to country not equal to empty, then it will visible. That means uh, here if you give any country id value 1 2 3 4, then only this section will be refreshed, and then only this dynamic layout also will be visible. So now here how I have referred, I have a one page property. What is the page property? Country details is the page property. This is the single page. This is referring to country. This is referring to data country. So how I am loading the data, because there is no manual here. See, there is no manual I selected. How I am loading the data use into this country details page means by referring to this data page, by referring to this data page. So that means here PEGA will not maintain any copy. PEGA will not maintain any copy in the country details. So whenever you refer this country details, immediately it will refer to data page. If the data page doesn't have any data, even country details doesn't have any data. If the data page is having the data, then country details will be having the data. That means it will always refer to a data. It will always fetch to a data from a source. because it's not maintaining the data. That is my intention, is it's not maintaining the data in the country details. I'll just give you one example, but before that, let's open the clipboard. Let's open the clipboard. Now see, what is the PY work page? PY work page is, where is the PY work page? Yeah, this one PY work page. See the country details. Now you just expand. The country details is always refer to this data page d underscore country id equal to 3. That means whenever you referred this section, or whenever you referred this page property, see how I was implemented: country details dot country code, country details dot country description, country details dot country id, country details dot country id. So that means whenever I refer this country details page property, this page property will refer the data page. That means the data is always maintained by the data page, not maintained by the country details. That is the important point here. You need to understand, this is nothing but a system of record pattern. It's not maintaining the data, refer it's always refer the source system whenever it needs the data, whenever it needs the data. So I just make one change. For example, if the source system is changed, if the source system value is changed, then obviously it will impact it to the target system. For example, here, when I give it as a country details 2, let's see, if I give it as a country details 4, then immediately, now see, refresh. Now the country id, because refer to data page always, py work page, country details 4. How the data page is implemented, that is a different story. Now if you want to just open the data page d underscore country, lookup countries table. See, this is the source lookup, means it will directly select star from country table where country id equal to, then it will load the data into this page property, this page data page. Parameters is country id. Okay, but now what I am going to do is, in the country, if I change it, country code equal to 32. Okay, because I have modified the source system, I have modified the external source system, assuming. Now in my screen, immediately if I give it as a 1, see 32 is coming. That means, normally, nor normally in normal scenario, if you are maintaining the data, if you are maintaining the data in the PEGA, so obviously the country code will always 91, the country code will always 91, because here we are not maintaining the data, we are just referring the data to the source system in the sense that might be external system or somewhere. So that means whenever your country details are referring, then immediately it will refer to the data page. That means it will load the data from the data page, it will load the data from the data page. That's why even in the clipboard also, the country details is not maintaining the data, the country details is not maintaining the data. uh, 1 minute, go to, okay, py work page, country details, see this one. Here it has a values. For better understanding purpose, I will show you. And where is the data page? There is a data page, data page is having the data, data page is having the data, but this country details is not having the data. Country details is referring to this data page, this data page. So that means finally the memory location is only one, but references are two, there is a one data page and there is a country details. So that means, it's not, country details is again not occupying any memory. Country details is always referring to the data page memory location, the data page memory location. So memory location is a one, but reference is more. It just country details is reference to that memory location. So this is nothing but a system of record pattern, system of SOR pattern. It's not maintaining the data in PEGA. It's not maintaining the data in PEGA. So for example, now what I'm going to do, country code is 32, just click on save, just click on save. Okay, now close this one. Now what you feel, okay, now country code is 32, but tomorrow the source system has changed, the country code is 78, 3278, or for example 78, save. Now open the insurance claim again, app, insurance claim. Now I1001, if you see, even just clipboard, I did not open in the edit mode, PY work page, country details, it's always referring to PY work page country details. Now when you open go, see what will happen, 78. Why it was 78? Actually it was 32, right? Because when I saved my work object, it was saved it as 32. That's what I am saying. It's not maintaining the copy. It's always, whenever you refer this country details, whenever you refer the country details, it will load the data. It will load the data. It's not maintaining. That is nothing but a system of record pattern. It will fetch the data on runtime. Whenever they needed the data. This is an example of system of record pattern. Now very simple, just change this country details property to copy a data from a data page. That's it, copy a data from a data page, save, checkout, save. Okay, that's it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more case. Now loan amount is 7890, etc. First from Ganesh, country detail is 3. Press a tab. Now the country code is 123, etc. Open the clipboard. Now open the PY work page. See the country details here. See where is referring, that means it is copying the data. Now it is maintaining in its own memory. Country details page. So as usually data page is also there. So now you can understand how efficiently you can use this system of record pattern. That is depends upon your design requirement. For example, these country details are maintained by the external system. You want to load the data always latest data or updated data, then you can go for the system of record pattern, or else you can go for the snapshot pattern. Snapshot means it is a one snapshot means copy of the existing one. Okay, now see country code is 123, etc. Now what I am going to do, just click on save, close. Now go back to the country details. Here 3 France, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to change the country code is 345. Just click on save. Now go back to your insurance claim and open again. See, still 123 only, because it's maintaining its own memory data. It's maintaining these country details data in its own memory. In its own memory means maintaining in PEGA. It's not referring, it's not fetching the data again and again. It's not fetching the data. So that's why you will not get the latest data. So in the previous pattern, system of record pattern, it's always fetch the data at runtime whenever they need. That means you refer the country detail somewhere, then immediately it will load the data from the data page. That means it's not maintaining in its own copy. It's not maintaining in its own copy. It's always refer to that data. It's always refer to the data. The best example is I'll just tell you best example. Amazon is the shopping cart website where you can see, where you can purchase all the items. But nowadays some of the websites are also maintaining the Amazon items, but actually they are referring to the Amazon website. They are referring to the Amazon website. Nowadays most of the websites are publishing the ads, right? In that ad, when you click on that, it will go to the data. It will go to that particular website. So ultimately, it's not maintaining their own website, just it will refer the data. That means it will fetch the data from the external system. It's not maintaining, it's not loading in their website. I mean, it's not maintaining in their website, it's always referring to the external system data. So I hope you understand this type of design patterns, snapshot design pattern and system of record design pattern. You people might have already implemented this one, but you don't know the terminology system of record and snapshot. So you can access the data very efficient way using this data access patterns. That is the purpose of this data access patterns. That's why this is data access. You can access the data efficient way. So in this case, now you are maintaining the data in the PEGA itself, and as well as in the data page also. You are maintaining the data in the data page as well as in the work object. For example, see, open the I1002 PY work page. Here country details data is maintaining here, and country details data is maintaining in the data page. Why two memory locations, two references? Why two memory locations? That is your wish. How that is depends upon your requirement. But in my requirement, I want to load the data whenever you need it. For example, if you go to the customer care, for example, when you call to any customer care services, okay, what is your customer ID means, then they will enter the data. Then they will enter the customer ID immediately. They will fetch the customer ID details from some system. But this in this system, they are not maintaining your customer details. For example, single source, there are multiple applications are always pointing to that source. They will always load the data whenever they needed it. All these applications are not maintaining the data. Okay, so just this is also one example. Okay, always refer to the data. Refer to means only one memory location, references are more, but copy means maintaining their own copy of the data. Using this, you will not get the latest data, but using the system of record pattern, you will get always latest data. That means whatever the data which is present in the source system, since you are always referring to that memory location, since you are always referring to that data page. So how you can achieve means by using this data page concept. By using this data page concept, you can achieve the system of record pattern and snapshot pattern. I hope you understand this. Thank you.